face off, you're in a lot of weird positions. So you always want to be warmed up before you face off. Next thing we do, we want to get our shoulder warmed up. All right, so that's what the chops are for. Don't worry about if you hit the ball and smack it away. There's really no point in doing chops other than to warm your shoulder up. Just go down in your stance, plant the left hand, and go. Start out slow. 10 side bends. Nice. And loose. All right, now before we get into the technique work, I want to talk about stances. Everyone here, knee down. That's the new thing here now, right? Now, especially with the new rules this year, you're definitely knee down is a very good stance to have because you're going to be in your stance for a long time. The ref's going to be adjusting you. That if you're doing a standing stance all game, by the fourth quarter, your legs are going to be shaking. All right. Now, a couple principles we want to keep in mind when we have our knee down stance. I see a lot of guys have a stance that looks something like this. Now, the problem with this is my hips. We want the ball, right? If I'm gonna get in a fight with someone, he's standing here and I'm facing this way, I'm gonna get knocked out, right? So I want the ball, I want the opponent. So what we do is bring our left foot up to the line as far as we can get it, and we bring our right knee back a little bit, and that forces my hips now to be facing the ball and the opponent. And take your time with it. All right? Now, obviously, your stick can't rest on your foot. It either needs to be right behind your stick, or if you taller guys will probably have your foot out a little wider. It doesn't matter how wide you have it, that's comfort. You just want to be balanced. The right knee's back a little bit, and then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my shoulders and rotate them the same way. All right? Now what it'll look like, you guys are almost gonna be facing the sideline when you're facing off. See how I'm facing down this way? All right, now what that does is now everything I do is going into the ball. All right, as opposed to my hips being open, now I'm going out here. All right? Make sure when we're knee down, guys, this right foot, we want it hooked. All right? We don't want our foot flat on the ground like this. Ever see an Olympic track runner with start like this? That's because that guy didn't make it to the Olympics. All right? We want to be athletic. All right, this helps us pop up to our feet a lot quicker than if our foot was flat on the ground. All right, left foot as far up as we can get, our right knee back a little bit, okay? From there, it's kind of comfort. You kind of tweak, because everyone's different shapes and sizes, but those are the two principles. 50-50 is you're locked up with the opponent, and neither one of you has full control over it. So if Jake comes down here with me, and that's when we're both locked up, whistle blows, and we're locked up, and we can't fight, all right? We've all seen guys, and it makes me throw up, but even college guys do this, and they just go around like this in circles, and the face-off lasts about 5 minutes. So what we do instead, you back off, thank you, I don't want to hit you now. So what we're going to have you guys do, you're going to line up, you're going to be nice and clamped on the ball. Remember how we ended the power clamp, how we're set up like this? That's exactly the motion you're going to want to get into as soon as the plastic hits. The plastic hits, boom. We get our helmet, we call this the column. We want to dominate the column. We get our helmet over top of it, so we're lower than our opponent. Short punch, and we walk our feet. We get the ball, we lock it, and we get it out. Keeping your body compact, low, and keeping the stick this way versus back here is key. Back down here again with me. One reason we want our helmet low is if we're battling and I keep my helmet here, look where my helmet is. It's right on his arm. I'm not ramming him. I'm not trying to hurt him. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm just occupying the space. So now his right arm has to try and move my entire body. All right? Unless you're facing off against the Hulk, it's not going to happen. All right? So it's such an advantage to keep. You want to be lower than the man and you want to dominate the column. Even with your head, they can be iffy about it as long as you're not launching yourself into them. Okay. You can't ever launch yourself into them, but you can get your helmet. You can do your shoulder too, but that kind of puts yourself off balance. So by just getting your helmet low, occupying the space, you're not doing anything illegal, and you're really messing him up. All right? Does that make sense? So this is our drill. We get set up, all right? and then we pivot. And set our feet, lock it, hold out to our left. All right, so I want you guys to work on that. Don't worry about going fast, but keep your body nice and compact. At no point in a face-off do we ever want our arms completely straight. All right, that's weak. We want to be low, and we want to have our whole body nice and bent. You guys, we don't want to move both our feet at once, all right? You can't push very hard against someone if you're like this, all right? Keep this rhythm in your head. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Walk them like that, all right? Now, we're gonna go through our snaps. We'll work on 3 snaps. We have the quick clamp, the power clamp, and the plunger. We don't teach a jam. How many of you guys like the jam? Awesome. Jams are stupid. How many of you guys like the quick rake? It's all right, we'll fix that. All right? Yeah, hey, we like honesty. The only reason we don't like to teach those is a jam puts a 50-50 ball here to here. Quick rake puts a 50-50 ball here to here. All right, they're still 50-50 balls. We like the ball here. That means it's mine, right? So that's why we teach these snaps. Now our first snap is the quick clamp. Looking at a clock. 9 o'clock, we're gonna punch our left hand at 10 o'clock. And as I do this, my helmet is gonna drop down into the ball. All right? What that's doing, dropping my helmet like that and getting my head around is I'm throwing my hips and shoulders into the clamp. Okay? So just work on that. Work on that quick clamp. All right? And you're just gonna steer with your left hand like this. Remember, we're steering with our left hand. Our left hand does most of the work when we face off, all right? We don't want to ever be caught doing this, pushing our right hand forward. Now, here, Jay, come here. Let go down with it. If you guys want to get closer, you can see this. If you're just flat out faster than someone, this is where a lot of face-off guys get in trouble is. You're just going against guys you're better than, and you can get away with bad mistakes. But what pushing your right hand will do if you go against someone who's just as quick as you, if me and him are going, boom, our sticks are gonna hit, right, if we're the same speed. But if I'm pushing my right hand forward, that's what happens. You guys ever facing off and you can't figure out why you're just pushing the ball into the other guy's stick? That's exactly what you're doing. So if I keep my right hand planted and crank my left hand, that won't happen. All right, that's actually gonna knock his stick out of the way. So keep that right hand nice and firm to the ground and punch with the left, okay? A little tip for you. A lot of guys like to teach pushing the right hand in, but once you go against good competition, it's not going to work. The power clamp is the same principles as our quick clamp. Oh, my bad, buddy. Get some conditioning in. Same principles as our quick clamp, only instead of going from 9 to 10, I'm going from 9 to 12. And when I do this, my whole body's coming with it. All right, when you're done, your body's going to look like this over top of the ball, okay? So we power clamp. All right, I'm low. That's the key. You got to stay low. Whenever you take a face off, your helmet needs to drop. All right, some guys get caught. They like to start so low, and then when they face off, they go like this. Think of it this way. If I'm going to push someone, what's a stronger push? Me going like this, or me going like this, pushing into you? Right? Think of it the same way. You're pushing into the ground. So you want to start up high, helmet nice level, and then boom, drop low. Okay? Work on that. Now some of you guys are over-rotating. What I mean by that is when you're ending here. You are severely going to hurt yourself if you try and pick up the ball like that, all right? So try and end that so your left foot is around your butt end, all right? That way you can plant and pick it up easily.
Now the new rule, it's only one step, right? Now?
Yeah, to get the ball out?
To get the ball out, it's one step. One step out and get the ball out of your stick.
The best way to avoid any confusion with the refs, leave it to the NCAA and everyone to make the rule confusing. Just do it one motion, guys. So after you go boom, you have the ball, lock it in one motion, be able to pop it up, all right? The one step thing is just such a gray area. Don't even get involved with it. Some refs will call it, some won't. So just one motion, as soon as you come up, go, okay? Now, a couple things we gotta keep in mind with our plunger. A lot of guys like to teach the plunger like this. screw around into the ball. It does a couple things. One, you're bringing your left hand all the way up here. That's a lot of motion. Also, you're completely exposed. Guys can get a lift on your stick very easily. Remember, anytime you lift your left hand in a face-off, you're exposed for a counter. That's why the other two clamps, we keep our left hand low until the very last second where our feet are set and we're ready to pull it out. We don't want to sit there for a long time with our left hand in the air. Now with our plunger, instead of screwing around into the ball, all we're going to do is we crush the ground with our right and we pull up with our left. Now, for our footwork to get out of the plunger, for our pinch and pop, everyone likes to pinch and pop and go to the goal. There's a couple do nots for this. The first one is this one. Down on a knee, you go like this, and then you get up and try and get the ball. If you're going against an opponent who's athletic at all, he'll be able to pop up to his feet and disrupt your fast break. The other one we don't want to do, guys do this, and for the life of me, I can't figure out why. Hit the clamp, you step over here, stepping across the guy you're trying to get by, and then come back across him again. All right, that's a wasted motion. So what we do is our pro hop. All right, we're all set, we hit our plunger. Our next motion is we stomp our feet. The midfield line is right between my legs. Before I even lift the ball up off the ground, I'm halfway past my opponent, and then I pull it out to my left for the fast break. All right? This line, face that way when we're working on it, so we're not running into each other. That is looking good, guys.
Here we go.
So now, we're gonna add our second wrinkle to it. Speaking of Mercer, get these gloves back on. Drag it on this turf here. All right. So we're battling 50-50. We've all been there, a long face-off, boom, boom, boom. You finally get the ball, and you're all happy you go to bring it out, and defense is right there. Right? So, what we do, we call it our defensive exit. You're battling a long time for the face-off. You're battling, you finally have it. So now instead of pulling it out on the offensive exit, you take your left hand and you crank it back. A little bit, a quarter turn, that's all it takes. And now you're running towards space. Okay, so do that same drill. Pivot, but once you have it, boom, stop for a second, pull the left hand back and hop your feet up. And that's just enough to get you out towards space, okay? Any of you watch Denver? Anybody watch Denver's games online? Trevor Baptiste, sophomore now. He was the first team All-American as a freshman. He was the best in the country at the defensive exit. That's why he was the best in the country. Right. He was so good at pulling the ball to space to himself that it just made it impossible. So what's going to happen, long ball is going to come out. He's going to do some sort of quick rake or whatever and then bring the pain, right? He's going to shut off the wings. So what you're going to do is you're going to tell all your wings to go all the way up in the offensive end. So now you got all the space behind you. If you can do it standing, do it standing. You can do it knee down too. It doesn't really matter. This is the safest face-off. You can use this in any situation unless, 5 seconds left, we need a goal. So we're going to combine that quick clamp we did with that defensive exit. And that's all it's going to be. Boom, quick clamp, and I'm going to use the left hand to give myself momentum. Spin back around. Now my shoulder's to him, and I'm popping out. Just running back to my goalie, and we can clear it back up. All right? The reason I want to spin this way, it's a lot easier to get between them, because if I start spinning this way, he's just going to follow me, right? So it's just a quick clamp. You can do it knee down too, don't matter. Quick clamp, spin back, and come out this way. Don't be a hero. Don't try and fast break some All-American defenseman. It's not going to end pretty for you, all right? And then you got left hand, boom, good. And the harder this one, don't pull that left hand up in the air. That's why it fell out. You pulled it up in the air, popped out, put it on the ground, set your feet, and lock it like you did on the other one.
So set up like facing, like shut up.